Turning now to the presidential campaign entering its last 4 weeks, upended because of the president's illness. The vice presidential debate still going ahead as scheduled on Wednesday, but with at least one change. ABC's Andrew Dimbert joins us from Washington with more on that part of the story. Andrew, good morning.
And good morning, Whit. The timing of the president's situation here really affecting both campaigns down the final stretch here. After the president tested positive for COVID-19 shortly after his debate with Joe Biden, now for the upcoming vice presidential debates, there's a renewed emphasis on safety. Campaigns upended as the president remains hospitalized for COVID-19 this morning. For Trump, that means no more signature in-person rallies for now, while Joe Biden has pulled all negative ads. Both candidates now forced to reimagine their campaigns and reach out to voters virtually. While Trump delivered this message from Walter Reed Hospital, Biden back in Delaware for a digital town hall with union workers over the weekend.
In a little bit of a spot here because I don't want to be attacking the president and the first lady.
And as he was leaving evening mass in Wilmington, the former VP telling reporters that he was not tested Saturday for the coronavirus, but that he will be sometime today.
So you were not tested today? I was yesterday. And you'll be tomorrow? And tomorrow.
With the campaign promising in a new statement to release the results of every COVID-19 test Biden takes. With President Trump off the road and battling the virus, his campaign says it will still move forward with in-person events as early as next week, calling it Operation MAGA. Meanwhile, a Trump re-election bus tour also kicked off this weekend as scheduled, with top surrogates gathering indoors, few wearing masks. And in what has already been a wild race for the White House, shrouded with uncertainties in the midst of a pandemic, the running mates are readying for a political showdown of their own, as Senator Kamala Harris prepares to take the debate stage against Vice President Mike Pence later in the week. She made a stop in Salt Lake City, Utah.
Let's do the work that is necessary to continue to fight for our ideals.
For Pence, he's pressing pause on the stumping. He'll be back out on the trail next week. In light of President Trump testing positive for COVID-19, sources tell ABC News Harris and Pence will sit 12 feet apart after the Biden campaign requested more space during their debate. And there's been at least one notable shift in safety protocols from the Trump re-election team after some staffers and surrogates were not wearing masks in Iowa. They did start to wear them on the second part of their Team Trump bus tour. Dan?
Andrew Dimbert, thank you so much to talk about here. So let's bring in our chief anchor, George Stephanopoulos, who's going to be hosting This Week later this morning. George, good morning to you. So cold, hard political question here. How is this likely to play politically for the president? Is it likely to garner a lot of sympathy for him or highlight a lot of the criticisms of his handling of the pandemic?
Short answer is who knows. We've never faced a situation like this before. We've never had a president facing a personal health crisis just a month away from the final votes in a re-election campaign. But here's what we know about what the situation was before the president announced he had COVID, before he was hospitalized. He was trailing by at least 7 points. In the debate, the first polls that have come out since the debate show that the president bore most of the blame for what happened there on Tuesday night and was likely losing some support. People believe he lost that debate. We've got a new poll out this morning showing that nearly 3 in 4 Americans believe the president didn't take the appropriate precautions, didn't take the chance of getting COVID seriously enough. And we know that with about 30 days to go until the final votes, the president had to do something to turn this around in a world where COVID was the worst possible issue for him all through the course of this campaign. So I think it's hard to imagine that this would help him. But again, we just have no idea how this is being processed in the minds of the American people.
This has been a wild year, so who knows what's going to happen next, as you said at the beginning of that question. What about for Joe Biden? How tricky a tightrope is this period of time for him?
Well, you see how he's handling it. He came out immediately, wished the president well, but reinforced the message that he's been delivering all along during this campaign. We have to take the pandemic seriously. We have to take social distancing and mask wearing seriously. We can't fix everything else in this country until we get a handle on this pandemic. I think you're going to see him continue to focus on that. Whether we're going to see another debate between Joe Biden and the president, I think is a real open question. The first one's supposed to be on October 15th. It's kind of hard to imagine it's going to take place on the 15th, but we'll have to see.
But meanwhile, we've got the vice presidential debate coming up. Does this now become increasingly significant given the current context?
I think it's possible that people will pay a little bit more attention because of the health crisis right now. I think there's no question about that. My guess is it's going to be a more sedate affair than last Tuesday.
Yes. pretty much anything would be. George Stephanopoulos, thank you very much. I want to remind everybody to watch George's show. Later this morning, he's going to go one-on-one with Trump campaign senior advisor Jason Miller and Biden deputy campaign manager Kate Bedingfield. That's all coming up on This Week right here on ABC. George, thanks again.
Well, hey there, GMA fans. Robin Roberts here. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Lots of great stuff here. So go on, click the subscribe button right over here to get more of awesome videos and content from GMA every day, anytime. We thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the morning on GMA.